Hey everyone, I'm Prince B,
And I'm Master Moses.
and we're here continuing our Gen 6 Sendoff. Today's battle is The Last Stand, uh, which is just kind of a weird little idea I had. I don't know, someone's probably done it before. But the basic concept is once your Pokemon's in, you don't get to switch. And for the purpose of balance on this, we also we did our own ban on moves that force a switch on either side, moves that let you switch out, U-turn, Volt Switch, Baton Pass, banned, moves that force your opponent out, Whirlwind, Roar, or like Circle Throw, or was it Storm Throw? The throw move that forces you out, Dragon Tail, those are banned. And also just, we also banned Perish Song, just because since you can't switch out, that could basically just give you like free kills with like Perish Song, Protect, and Substitute. Like it would just lead to like potential ties and stuff. We didn't want to avoid that, so we just got rid of Perish Song while we were at it.
Exactly. It definitely helps balance it out and avoids any of those sort of nasty little circumstances. But I may have a few surprises of my own within those range. So without further ado,
Yeah, can't switch out. That's the main thing you need to know. So know if you're just tuning in and looking at this one specific battle, we do know about the switch feature. We do normally use it. We are taking bad matchups on purpose because
exactly.
we have to.
I'm gonna have to resist my every instinct throughout this match, I'm sure.
Yes.
Oh,
like
gosh.
right here, I've got a pretty bad matchup. Love your name, by the way, over there, Briar Rose. That's nice. Although I'm disappointed. That's not a Rose raid. That is not a Rose raid.
That is true, but it does have the briars.
And mine over here, Crayfos, it was actually a playoff of Crayfish. And then when I was done, I noticed it sounded like Kratos, and I was like, oh, oops. That was not intentional.
You know, I can actually see it with his color scheme and everything. Well, I mean, not the blue.
We're going with
but...
Sword Dance. Ooh, that Leech Seed has got me on a timer. So yeah, our question of the day, gonna set that up early. How did you approach building a team for this specific kind of game style here?
You know, I actually... Oh, wow. That hurt a lot worse than I expected. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I actually started with an existing team idea that I had built a while back. Had to make a couple changes, and I'll kind of highlight those as I go, what I would normally do. This is normally a team that I would actually take out just battling. Oh, gosh. That thing's got some serious strength.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Man, oh, wow. Blanked. I took kind of a variety between bulky as well as like quick hitters that can throw some statuses on, just so that I'm a little bit flexible in terms of what I go up against. Just because I
I just looked at your name. I just saw your nickname.
Yeah, you're in the
didn't
zone.
even register it for... Oh, ow. As for me, because I mean, there are a lot of ways you could approach this. You could go with just a bunch of bulky Pokemon and try and outlast your opponent. You could go hyper offensive and go with the concept of, well, if I take him out before he can do anything, it doesn't matter if I switch. Or you could just go with Pokemon that have a lot of coverage moves like your normal type team, where they just had moves for a bunch of different situations. So the fact that you can't switch out isn't as big of an issue. I started with kind of a defensive core. Obviously, we've got the Toxic Heal Gliscor over here. He's pretty bulky. Dragonite's got his multi-scale, so he can kind of take some hits. Volcarona, fairly bulky as well. But I didn't want all bulk, so I went with some more kind of fast, frail, hard hitters like Crawdon and Bisharp, who also take off items with knockoff, which kind of hurts the longevity of any defensive Pokemon that you run.
Absolutely. Knockoff is definitely killer in this sort of matchup. just because those
Yeah.
items like leftovers, life orb, I mean anything that can be used over a long period of time can be just devastating.
Yeah.
Oh man, that
Which
did
was kind of
not
the
do what I hoped.
well, I roosted there. So I got
True.
rid of that flying weakness, so you were hitting for neutral.
True.
I'm going to get rid of your item, speaking of knockoff. Knockoff, just hands down my favorite, I guess it's not really a new move, but like a buffed move from this generation. It was really terrible in the old gens, but that buff of like doing, I think it does like 1.5 or like 2 times damage if it knocks off an opposing item is just like really useful.
It is. It definitely brought it up into more, I guess, advantageous scene. It's definitely become a lot more useful. Oh man, the earthquake. So I'll go ahead and let you know.
Sword dance, bro.
Gygus there is one of the ones that I tweaked. Normally, he has a fun little surprise. Instead of a life orb, he holds the plot twist of a red card. So he'll survive most hits, force a switch, and then most people take a full power Stone Edge to the face.
That's interesting.
It's one of those. It's kind of a
yeah. I didn't mention
surprise.
it, but red card is one of those items that forces a switch, so probably not fair in this kind of situation.
Exactly.
I don't know. We considered whether or not to ban those kind of moves because the forcing a switch or giving yourself a move that lets you switch. There were arguments on both sides. Like, yes, it kind of adds to the strategy, but then it'd be kind of centralized around that. You'd run a lot of U-turn and volt switch to try and just get out of nasty situations. So I figured it'd be kind of more balanced to just ban them outright.
Exactly. It would definitely influence it to a point where there wouldn't be much of remaining. Man, I'm not even sure if I have anything to break through this, honestly.
Yeah, I almost... Ooh.
There.
Well,
I broke through it.
There you go. That worked. That worked, I guess.
At what cost, though?
I was actually kind of sad. I actually wanted you to get rid of my Gliscor because I wanted to show off some of these other Pokemon. I didn't want it to be the Gliscor show. And here we got Dragonite. I've never used this particular moveset of Dragonite before, actually. I just found this one on Smogon when I was looking up the EVs for the one that I normally use. And this one actually just kind of seemed like an interesting little thing, and I thought I'd try it here, kind of test it.
Oh gosh, this is not going to go well.
Yeah, so you can see I used a lot of boosting moves on my Pokemon, Swords Dance, Dragon Dance, etc. Because since you're not switching, you don't have to worry about setting up and then being forced out by a counter. Well, you do, but you can't switch, so you just kind of have to make the most of the situation.
Exactly. All right, let's...
I ran a lot of boosting moves. Normally, I don't fill my whole team with boosting moves, but...
The miss! Of course it missed!
And here we've got the wonderfully hilarious Flying Dragonite. I never see anything use Fly in competitive, so that's kind of why I wanted to try it, because it was just so funny that this was like the top Dragonite set, and I just wanted to try it because it sounded funny.
Yeah, I've never heard of anything managing to use Fly, but it pulled it off in a way that took me by surprise.
Because it's got the leftovers, which gives it constant healing it gives it a free turn of healing in the air. You got Substitute to take things. Roost restores your HP. And then you got Dragon Dance to boost. It's an interesting set, and it seems to work decently. You just happen to have like the one thing that's fast enough to outspeed me and hit me with a status before I can set up the Substitute.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do much of anything. Oh, come on. Got the miss on... Yeah, it definitely... Normally, that's another one where I typically have Volt Switch in place of Thunderbolt. I considered swapping out Jupiter for something else just because normally... I don't know if it was all that well suited for this setup, but it does have its perks.
Yeah. And the other interesting thing here is since I've got the Fly, normally you're able to switch out, and basically Fly gives the opponent a free turn to switch, which kind of is part of why no one really uses it, among other reasons, just being a generally mediocre move. But here in Last Stand, you can't switch, so whether or not you have a free turn to switch doesn't really affect anything.
Well, exactly. It's definitely, I think, making a big difference in terms of how applicable a two-stage move is. Because as you said, it normally you can predict that, easily switch into something with a resistance.
Looks like that Toxic is finally adding up.
I think it may finish it off this time.
Yeah,
Sure enough.
he just died. He just crashed to the ground.
Yeah, kind of like Hindenburg.
R.I.P.
I mean, here's to hoping that Hindenburg doesn't go down this time, but...
And let's go with
Oh, gosh.
Lorraine. This was actually... A lot of these were Pokemon that I love and were running on my main team, but they just kind of got swapped out recently. Like Dragonite, Gliscor, Volcarona, and Bisharp all have had fairly long turn times on my team. And they just kind of recently fell off as I tried some new things and found some other Pokemon that I liked.
Alright, I've got a feeling this isn't going to do anywhere... Well, in fact, I'm pretty much positive this won't do anywhere near enough damage because I don't have anything that's even normally effective. Let's see here. I'm debating whether to just tip my hand or... Yeah, I'll do it just in the off chance, but...
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, normally
That
Hindenburg...
knockoff.
Hindenburg is a fun one to lead with because people don't expect it. So by substituting until I hit a quarter health, Lychee Berry activates, boosts my attack, Unburden activates, doubles my speed, Acrobatics is doubled, so now I'm double speed, double move power, and 1.5 attack, and that Blurade was not taking it.
Yeah. That's still pretty good. Even with the nerfs, it's still a really good defensive type.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's our first one where we didn't actually show all of our Pokemon.
It was that.
Might as well, I'll say. The Volcarona was obviously a Quiver Dance bulky variant. I think it was Fiery Dance, Quiver Dance, Bug Buzz to hit through like substitutes and just get that strong special stab. And I think I was trying Giga Drain on it, which is another thing Smogon suggested. Normally I run Roost, but again, I just wanted to try and mix it up a little with some things I wouldn't normally use. And then Lopunny, of course, we showed that last match actually, where it put in some work on Master Moses' side.
It did.
I was
It's got
actually
some
kind
serious
of
strength
amused
behind it.
that we both had chosen Lopunny for one of our teams. Definitely a Pokemon that no one really looked at before, but once it got its Mega, it really shot up in usage, which is really cool.
It is. I'm glad that the Megas give kind of a second opportunity at life for older Pokemon that may not have gotten much notice at their original release.
Of course, conversely, you've got the ones like Salamence, who was already a big threat when he came out, and in like Gen 4, started to fall off in Gen 5 and 6. But then he just got a stupid broken Mega. Same with kind of like Metagross, where they've had their time in the limelight, but then they just got like buffed up to where they're still stronger than most of the other Megas like Lopunny and whatever. It's kind of... I mean, it's cool that these fan favorites are getting more love, but just the extent of how much better they are than some of the other ones, like, there are definitely two classes of Mega. You've got the Mega Salamances, and then you've got the Mega Bayonets, where Bayonet is not good even with a Mega.
Exactly.
So that was our last stand match. Interesting little type of battle there.
It was.
Next up is our For Fun match, which will be on Master Moses' channel. And that'll just be kind of us using some Pokemon that we like that maybe necessarily didn't get to make it onto our main team, or, you know, just kind of messing around, whatever we wanted, whatever we felt like building at the time.
Exactly. And it'll just be a chance to go all out, but at the same time give some recognition to some of those normally not as focused Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah, the ones that we liked but just couldn't work onto our team for one reason or another. Kind of like what I did here, where I retooled some of the old Pokemon, but also had to keep in mind a specific battle style. There we'll be able to retool some Pokemon that we like, but use them in a more conventional style.
Exactly.
So that ends this video. Hopefully we'll see you all next time. This is Prince B.
And this is Master Moses.
We're signing out.
Thanks for watching.